Kyle, so good to see you. I'm really excited about our topic today, how to make sure your inheritance doesn't disappear. That's because I came across this wild study which found that 42% of heirs see their net worth fall back to or below pre-inheritance levels within just 1 year. And the average inheritance studied in the data, $133,000 gone in 1 year. What do you think is driving this behavior?
Hey, Aaron. Yeah, this is a big one. I think what's really driving it is a combination of factors, but more than anything, I think not having a plan, like a family plan that's put in place around that money and what the expectations would be. That's a big one. And then, the emotions involved also come into play too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because according to this study, the pattern is more extreme than with other financial windfalls like winning the lottery. So why is an inheritance so different?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You just lost a loved one. Most of the time, I think people inheriting money from an inheritance, they're not expecting exactly what they're going to get. There's a lot of question marks around how much is going to be left after probate, if that's involved. Who else is entitled to some of this money? There's all these question marks, and then all of a sudden the money is there. You're probably still grieving to some degree, and it's kind of a prime time to make a big impulse buy or possibly a bad series of financial decisions at a time like that. So taking the time to resolve the feelings and then deal with the money separately, it's a great way to go about that.
Right. And you've been doing this for a while now, Kyle. So what mistakes do you see families make when it comes to passing down wealth?
Definitely. Estate planning is a big area of focus for us. Multi-generational planning is also a really big area. And I think, just like you see on there's all these different factors that come into play with estate planning in particular. It's not just making sure the beneficiaries on your account are correct. There's a lot more to it. There's, legal documents that come into play. And ultimately, the goal of a proper estate plan is to make sure that your things, your net worth, your values, that you want to make sure are passed on to the right people in the right way. And
right.
That's what it's all about.
What strategies then can help ensure an inheritance actually lasts beyond that estate plan?
Yeah, so proper planning is huge. And then involving primarily those decision makers that are going to be in your estate plan, whether that's your executor or your successor trustee or whoever that is, involving them in those conversations can go such a long way in helping to make sure that some of that inheritance is preserved the way that you would intend for it to be.
Right.
And, not only that, but, sometimes having those conversations can be a real challenge. I think maybe at the dinner table, it's hard to find the right environment for that. But sometimes coming to my office, we've done a lot of these. We've helped a lot of clients with this. I'm pretty good at taking the stress out of the situation.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to be kind of on neutral ground when you're having those heavy conversations. And, having that talk is the first big thing. And then working with someone who's got the experience to help build a plan can help with this so much. And I think a lot of people are wildly underserved, I hate to say it, on this side of financial planning.
Right. And I understand why people put off having this conversation with their children. I mean, nobody wants to talk about death, but we want to make sure we're all taken care of no matter what happens. And again, Kyle, I value how you're always thinking about the whole family. So if somebody would like to bring both generations into the office, have this conversation at a table, make sure there are no financial surprises, what's the best way to reach you?
Sure. The best way is through our website. That's firstcoastfinancialgroup.com.
Great. Kyle, again, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Aaron.